Hello and welcome to part 3.5. Today is the 4th of July 2023 and it's a bright, hot, sunny day here in Scannick, Pennsylvania. At the end of part 3, my Mattel Aquarius home computing system console died. I turned it on and instead of getting a boot screen, I got a screen filled with vertical stripes and a repetitive ticking noise. Well, now it's worse, and I didn't do anything to make it worse, it just got worse on its own. When you turn it on, the stripes are gone. Now, it does respond to an extent to a key press, so some aspect of the machine is still working. A guy in the Facebook group for the Mattel Aquarius named Mark Wharton suggested that I replace the RAM chips on the motherboard. Now, the motherboard contains two 2K chips for a total of 4K, which is an abysmally small amount of RAM for a computer. If you want more RAM in your Aquarius, you buy an expansion cartridge that has 4K, 16K, or 32K. I ordered 2 chips from eBay and some sockets, and the plan is to remove the chips from the motherboard, replace them with the sockets, insert the RAM chips into the sockets, and by some miracle, the Mattel Aquarius may be repaired. Now you might wonder, well, why didn't I buy 16K RAM chips and I would have 32K of RAM on the motherboard? I think if that would work, somebody would have done it by now. There must be an issue with how much memory can be addressed on the motherboard. So I'm not going to say let's get started because my wife hates that phrase. She says it's grammatically incorrect and it sounds stupid. And if you think about it, let's get started means you're not actually ever going to start. You're sort of just like preparing to get started. So she suggests that we say, let's start or let's begin. So, let's begin.
Let's get started.
Here are the 2 RAM chips. This guy and this guy. Boy, this might be hard to get back together once I get them out. Look at how small the connections are. And this is a double-sided circuit board. This is the top side. Here's my soldering iron tip in comparison to the pins. And this is what we have to unsolder. What could possibly go wrong? I found this method for unsoldering the chips from watching a video made by Mr. Solderfix, and there's a link to the video below. It involves soldering a heavy wire to all the pins on the chips, then heating up the wire, and the chip is supposed to fall right out. Now, I don't know what I did wrong, but that didn't work for me. Maybe my wire was too thin, or I used the wrong kind of flux. But not only didn't the chip fall out, I had to pry it out. These chips were a lot harder to get out than I thought they would be. And I really scorched up the back of the circuit board. it appears the socket idea is not going to work out. Now here's a chip not in a socket, and here's the socket. Notice the socket is not made for a double-sided circuit board, so there's no way to solder underneath the socket. Well, I'm finished replacing the RAM chips, and I was very careful. There were over 100 small connections I had to solder, and it was a one-shot deal. I wasn't going to replace the chips if they didn't work. And taking them out, I think, really damages them beyond repair. Now, I tell people that I'm not the guy that you want to use to repair your helicopter rotor, because after you take off into the wild blue yonder, I'll find a lock washer laying on the ground. But in this case, I was very meticulous. And here comes the moment of truth. Ready?
Oh, you bastard!
Well, apparently I did a great job on the RAM chips, but that wasn't the problem. It's time for plan B. Look what showed up. $25 from eBay. Now, $25 is the cheapest price I've seen for any Mattel Aquarius item on eBay. The guy was asking $50 and I offered $25. He never responded, but the next thing I knew, it had been boxed up and shipped. Now, I don't know where this has been. It's filthy. I don't even want to touch it. I'm going to have to wash my hands after this. There's no way to tell if it works because the cord's cut off. The end of this cord has one of those old school adapters on it. It's got like a pound of copper in it. I think people cut them off and recycle the copper. So the plan is to take the board out of this machine, and I'll include the RF shield. I'm not going to bother taking that off. I'm just going to swap everything. We'll put it in my machine, which has a refurbished keyboard and a good power supply. So that's plan B, and I don't have a plan C. So let's begin. This is very encouraging. So there's two more tests I want to do. I want to test the expansion slot and I want to test the tape drive. To test the expansion slot, we'll see how much memory we have, and then we'll add the 16K expansion cartridge and then see how much we have. Now to test the memory, you just tell it to print free and any letter in parentheses. And we have 1,724 bytes. Now I'm going to test the data recorder. I've typed out a small program. I'm going to save the program to the data recorder, power cycle the Aquarius so that it's erased from the Aquarius, and then load it back into the Aquarius from the data recorder, thereby testing the data recorder. So here we go. We want to C-save, and I'm going to call this program Blue, B-L-U-E. C-save quote, B-L-U-E. You'll see why I named it Blue in a minute. Okay, so we're going to press play and record. And it's working so far. The data light is on. Take about 10 seconds. All right. We'll rewind the tape. Now I'm going to toggle the Aquarius. If we type list, there's nothing there. So we will type cload and then play. When this data light goes on, it should find a program. There we go. It found Blue. So far, so good. Okay, let's list it out and see what we have. And there's our program. And we'll run it. Well, in spite of this message saying that Microsoft Windows has crashed, obviously we have a working Mattel Aquarius. Unfortunately, it's not working with my motherboard and my RAM chips, but it's a working unit now. The expansion slot works, and it also works with the data recorder. The only thing I would like to do next is to try to brighten this case up, which has gotten yellow and dingy looking. I'm sure you've seen videos on YouTube where people brighten plastic using hydrogen peroxide and the sun. Right now the sun's not out, it's raining, but when the sun comes back out, I'll give it a try. Here's my Mattel Aquarius exoskeleton. When I was cleaning this label started to come up a little bit, so I've taken some pictures, and if I need to, I can recreate that. I think I'm going to do the bottom first, and I'm going to mask off this. I don't want this to be out in the sun. Now I'll cover that with saran wrap. If a bird goes in there, he's going to be a very unhappy bird. I took this out after about 4 hours, and it almost looks new. This label has glued itself back down, and all of the yellow and tan discoloration is gone. So we'll put in the next part. I've masked off the logo. And here we go. Now one thing I noticed is that you have to keep checking on it because bubbles form. Bubbles will start to form on the plastic, so you have to come out about every hour or so and give it a good shake and get the bubbles off. I can see them forming now. The procedure with the hydrogen peroxide worked out very well. This case looks like it's almost brand new. Here's the reassembled Mattel Aquarius. It looks like it's new. We know it's not new, but it appears to be new, and it works like it did when it was new. Well, I think this project was somewhat of a success. I have a working Mattel Aquarius, and I think I kept that unit that I found on eBay out of the trash. Nobody else was going to take a chance and bid on that thing with the cord cut off. And the trash can was, in all probability, going to be its fate. So, thanks for watching part 3.5, and happy computing.